Alright, something of my own. This is called All Taffeta and Tulle. It's for my friend Angie. Frightened by the storm, he crawls under his mother's skirts, all taffeta and tulle, clinging to her ankles before falling asleep upon her feet. She continues playing her cards right, winning all before her, as the candles gutter and almost go out. She remembers her body wrapped about him, her flesh protecting his innocence, as now her dress encloses his sleeping, unconsciously stroking his hair with her left foot, his dreams now pooled at her feet. The Angie in question in the poem had only one arm. This arm, the right arm, was a stump. But we never taught anything of that. And people said, why didn't you put that into the poem? But the poem is about the terrible tender gesture of her stroking him with the left foot like that. And it was nothing to do with the arm. And indeed she could, and she liked to smoke all the time. And she smoked with this arm and put papers in between to read them like that, held her fag in her foot like that. She could paint with that foot, although she could do that. But I said, why don't you paint with your left hand? And she said, oh, no, I'm smoking with that one. So she used to smoke with her, or paint with her foot. So, very strange lady. These are called my whim men, because I write them when fictional characters are great, because they're already fictional, so you can do whatever you like with them. So I like to fictionalize them further and think of different possibilities, different afterlives that they could have. This is called Romeo and Mary. That's right, Romeo and Mary. Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet, is it? Sure, isn't that all I ever hear? That Shakespeare has a lot to answer for. See how he stitched that up, that poor Richard III chap? He can give a body the hump, so he can. Twisted everything into that Mobius strip imagination of his. I got my Romeo fair and square, so I did. Yeah, I know he still carries a torch. Oh, Juliet, wherefore art thou, Juliet? He cries out in his sleep. But I don't care where he gets his appetite, as long as he eats at home. Sometimes in the midst of our great passions, he will call her name instead of mine, the filthy little swine. Sometimes his mind will ever wander back to, Rosalind. Juliet married Paris in Paris, had 10 kids, lost her figure, ran to fat. Ha, imagine that. I'd like to see her teach the torches to burn bright now. Aha. And that was, despite what Roth was wrote, that Rosalind had many, many husbands, none of them her own. Died of the pox, had it coming to her. Me and my hubby still going strong. 50 years married this forthcoming July now. Put that in your new biography and tell it how it is. Romeo and Mary Kathleen Priscilla O'Keeffe. True story. This is called So the Days Have Worn Away, have they? Does anybody know where that comes from? Dickens? It's the famous line of Miss Havisham. So I thought I'd give Miss Havisham a different afterlife as well too. So this is called So the Days Have Worn Away, have they? Mrs. Havisham, already that's altered there. Mrs. Havisham ran from her dream and into the arms of her husband. She was trembling like a dying bird held in the hand, tears falling on it. Dearest, Mr. Havisham tried to cajole her back into some kind of reality. Oh, Mr. Havisham, sir, she palpitated. I dreamt I was on fire and my world was all cobwebs and dust, and that I was never married and that I was but a character in a book by that Mr. Dickens. Shh. Her husband shushes her, and she slept in his embrace as real as real. A ray of sunshine entered her room, bowing before them, announcing in a loud morning voice, your world awaits you. And finally, my friend in India, Sean, was bringing out a collection called Colours of Refuge. And he kept on pestering me to write a poem. And I didn't want to write a poem because I didn't think I could do this situation justice. And if you're going to write a poem about something like that, it better be a very good poem. Or you better be inside the poem and writing from that aspect. And I didn't think I could do that. And then on the telly, I saw a man say the opening lines here, which is already poetry in my mind. And shortly after that, I saw clowns. And there's a guy called David Clay, And it goes, and now in Syria, and I thought, oh God, more terrible things going to happen. And across the screen came this blue-suited man with a bonky hat playing a guitar with a girl clowning behind him. And they send clowns to Syria, and all the kids come out, and laughter just breaks down everything. And it doesn't matter if you can understand them or not. And it's called Clowns for Syria. So this is called We All Laugh in the Same Language. We live between two fires, he tells the camera. The misery of going, the misery of staying. The camera cuts to his daughter, seriously playing, locked inside herself. They are refugees from TV land, their harsh reality living behind the glass that separates them from us. Suddenly, there is an invasion of clowns. The man in the navy blue suit, broken top hat and polka dot tie is sowing laughter in the barren lands of their minds, his buffooning reaping a bumper crop in minutes. The clownish figure of fun gathering delighted applause from those who never thought they could laugh again. The hula hoop crazily through the camps juggle and pratfall with the reality of war. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well, their antics seem to tell. Maybe there will be laughter after all. After all, we all laugh in the same language. Thank you.